Welcome back, guys, to the This and Much More podcast. I'm Evelyn, and my co-host is
Rollie Vogues.
And today's special guest is
Mike DeLeon, also known as Big Camera Guy. What up?
Big Camera Guy. Why is that?
Man, my girlfriend at the time, she'd be like, man, you're just so big. You're just like a big old guy with a camera. I'm like, she just always tell me that, like, you're just a big old camera guy. And I'm like, that's kind of catchy. And then I kind of stuck with it. And like for the first like 6 months, I was using that as like what also known by, and it kind of just stuck. And every time everyone sees me, like, oh, that's Big Camera Guy. That's Big Camera Guy. I'm like, oh shit, it kind of hit. So
Yeah,
I thought catchy.
I thought your name was Hugo at first. I was like, Big Camera Guy, Hugh. Like, you know what I mean? I was like,
someone had the original Big Camera Guy. Account has been inactive since like 2012. I've been trying to get
that.
it.
Oh, I hate
So I had
that.
to add HOU at the end.
Yeah.
But
And you just can't do like a period or anything,
it
right?
looks
So
dumb.
it's yeah.
And then I changed it like a year and a half in. But then I realized like all my tag posts were gone. So I was like, oh, let me put it back. Because then everyone who used to tag me, they wouldn't be able to go to my page anymore.
Yeah,
They would say like
different
user
tag.
not found.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever.
So that is back.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah,
That's
I hate
fine.
that.
So tell us who you are and what do you do?
All right. Again, my name is Mike DeLeon. I was born Houston, North Side, Greenspoint area.
Guns Point.
Guns Point. Hold it down. Shout out. I am a photographer, videographer. I freelance full time. I mostly do fitness, sports. I do a lot of like boxing. I have a couple fighters that I follow. Pretty much create all the content. I work with a couple brands. I work for a gym. Do weddings. So pretty much a little bit of everything. Yeah, a little bit of everything. But yeah, and I've been doing it for going on 4 years now.
4 years.
So you've been doing it for 4 years full time?
Yeah, so August 18th will actually be my 4th year full time.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask you because I remember you had made a post and you're at work and then you made that like, you know, it's been 4 years or 3 years. I forgot what it was, and I was like, man, I went back to it like before you got here, and I had wrote inspirational on there because it's like, damn, you know, that's pretty dope,
bro. It's like if you would have told me 3 years ago, I mean that date 3 years ago in 2018, like I would be doing this now, I would have been like, nah, you're bullshitting. Like, there's no way. And everything just fucking happens quick. And on top of that, like 4 years go by fast.
Yeah, they do. And
now that I'm like on my 4th year, like my first 2 years, I was figuring shit out. I did not know what the fuck I was doing. My first year, okay, go back to like what I did before. So I used to work for oil and gas companies since I was like 19, pretty much right out of high school. FMC Technologies, I thought that was it, bro. I was like, oh, I made it. Making, 60 grand, 60 to 90. I think the most I ever made was like 90, almost 100. And I was like, I'm good, bro. Like, do this rest of my life. Like, I'm straight. Like, I'm content. And I didn't know anything else. And this is an era when like, Facebook, Instagram was only photos for iPhones. So like social media wasn't a thing. YouTube was barely popping off. I didn't even think about cameras. I think I purchased a GoPro for the hell of it. So I was just working there, slaving away for fucking almost 9 years. And I started listening to Joe Rogan like in 2013. Yeah. And he started talking about like the miserable people that work 9 to 5s and all this shit. I'm like, damn, that kind of hurts. Like, bro, you talking about me? Like, I started relating. I was like, man. And he's like, started saying things like, there's other things out there and stuff like that. I'm like, huh. And then I started watching Casey Neistat in 2014. That fucking changed everything.
Bro, Casey Neistat,
GOAT,
that's
bro.
The one
I
you
literally,
showed me?
I literally saw his like second ever episode he dropped. And I was like, what the fuck? And I went back and watched the first one. And then that was like my morning routine. Wake up, watch him for 10 minutes, get ready to go to work. And I was just like, what? Like, obviously everyone was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I want to do this. Yeah. And then, so I went with that GoPro I had. I just started documenting like my daily life. Didn't post anything. Didn't know how to edit. Didn't know how to do anything. This was also when I was working at the company. And then one of my homies, Roger, he was creating for festivals like back in 2014, Free Press Summerfest. I don't know if you remember that music festival. And he was doing like recap videos for them. And I was like, what? This is incredible. Like, what is this? My mind was, and this is when IG finally started doing videos like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So he would post these crazy 15-second videos. So I was like, oh man, I gotta learn how to edit. So I had iMovie on the Macs. Started putting together dumb video like this.
Yeah, just
carrying my GoPro everywhere, just like like look what I'm doing, and then like I would put them out, and people were like, "Yo, this is so dope," because no one was doing it, right? And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I became like the guy like always has the GoPro, and then this was when I was still working at the company. I didn't even take it seriously. Didn't even think it was a profession, anything.
Yeah.
Like 2016, work started like getting bad, like. Going because I'm used to working like 12-hour shifts Monday through Saturday, and I thought like I was living. So get off Saturday, party, like Sunday fun day, like you know what I mean, like I'm living my life, popping bottles, going to Vegas, like so stupid, like just being a 24, 25-year-old kid with money, and so like once I started getting older, I was like, dude, this can't be it. Like there's no way. I started seeing like the people I was working with. And I was like, dude, these guys are miserable. Yeah. Like, this cannot be it. And then I met this guy named Julio. He started working in the shop. He used to work offshore. So when you're working offshore, you would do a month on, month off. So during that month off, he would travel the world. And he had like a bunch of money. Yeah. So I started seeing him like at these festivals, going to like Italy, going to France. I'm like, dude, I want to do that. Like, how do you do that? And then I can't do that working here because I'm always here. Mm-hmm. And that kind of like expanded my mind a little bit. And then still listening to Casey, still listening to Joe Rogan. Work got slower. And then I was still doing, the little fun GoPro videos. And then I think like what really popped it off, I did Kika's boat party video. And I remember she posted it and it got like all this crazy traction. And then I was like, damn, like, is this something I can maybe kind of do? And then anyways... the year later, still making like dumb videos. And then I had a friend ask me like, hey, can you do a video from my mom's office? I'm like, all right, don't know what I'm doing. Showed up with a GoPro on my iPhone. And I'm like setting up these scenes. Like, all right, you're going to go through the hallway and I'm a pan, right? Like I just acted like I knew what I was doing. And then she wrote me a check for $1,000. She goes, hey, give me 3 more of these. And I'm like, what? I literally cashed it, went straight to Best Buy. Bought it like a camera, a real camera, and like and that's like what kind of started everything. And one of my homies was actually like, dude, I really think you can really do this. So he actually bought me another camera, and he bought me a gimbal and a lens. He bought me like a whole setup. And he was like, just get me whenever. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, like all right. So now at that point, I had 2 cameras. Started getting clients. Was still working. Like I was working like 5 to 4, 5 to 3, and I had picked up all these like real estate clients. So I would like leave work, go do a bunch of houses, and then that's kind of how I was making my funds. And I still wasn't doing, and I was doing like fitness videos. Like back in 2017, 18, that was like the thing, right? Yeah, fitness videos. And I was doing a bunch of fitness videos, doing real estate. Started doing weddings. I told my cousin like, hey, let me do your wedding for free. Like, don't worry about it. Did a wedding, posted it, got like buku bookings. And I was charging like $200 a wedding, bro.
$200.
I did not know. I did that. I posted that video, and I posted it in this group called Brides the Brides Houston.
I know which one you're talking about.
Oh my God, they are mean in there. And I posted that, and I had like 20 inquiries, and I was like, yeah, $200, $300, and they were like, wait, what? And then
did they think you were legit?
No, because then they tried blasting me and saying like, this guy's on here giving away videos for $200, and then oh my God, my inbox got flooded with hate from like other photographers. Like, it's people like you that are ruining this industry. And I was just like, bro, I just started. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, can you relax? Oh man,
what's that thing that that guy says? I've only been out here for 3 days.
Oh, he's like, I don't know. So my 3rd day here. Yeah. And then I'm just getting roasted in my inbox. I'm like, man, fuck y'all. Like, so I did. So I quickly realized after the second $200 wedding, I was like, this is a lot of work. Like, fuck this. And then I had, bro, for like 2 years. And that's another thing. I didn't know not to book 2 years in advance. So like up until like 2020, I was still doing like $300 weddings because they booked me in 2018. Yeah. And I just remember like obviously 2 years passed and I'm doing it full time and I'm all like, I've gotten a lot better. And I'm just like, dude, these motherfuckers are getting a steal. Like, y'all are lucky.
Damn, where were you when we got married?
I know, right? Oh. And then, I was still working. And then one day, like I said, I was just I fucking hated working. I hated waking up, hated going there, hated everything. I was trying to get fired completely because I was like, all right, I get fired or laid off. We're like in this recession when it comes to the oil industry. Like I'll get like a good ass package. I've been here 9 years. So I was just doing like a bunch of bogus stuff to get let go, and they would not let me go. And then one day I was just like, yo, I'm out. Like I can't do this.
So while you were doing like all the weddings and everything, you were still.
I was still working there, bro. I remember like getting off work, editing till like midnight, going to sleep, waking up at 5, be there at 6, work all day. Sometimes I would go do sometimes I would leave to do a job early. I mean, I would leave work to go do a job. They fucking hated that. Like, yo, I got to go early. And then I would stay up fucking late all the time editing, and just weekends would spend just trying to find new clients and stuff. And then, like in my mindset, I was like, okay, because a lot of people ask me, how did you know when to quit? I'm like, I did it, and I probably shouldn't have quit the way I did because in my mind, I was like, oh, if I quit, I have more time to create. Yeah. I didn't even think about the business side of it, bro. I was just like, fuck it. What's the worst that will happen? Like in my mind, I was like, okay, if I never get a client again, I lose my apartment. My girlfriend will probably break up with me, and I move back home. I'm like,
it's not that bad.
Not too bad. Like, I'm only 27. Like, why not? Like, fuck it. And
wait, so how old are you right now?
I'm 32 now.
You're 32?
Yeah. So at the time I was 28. Sorry, I was 28. And so I was like, what's the worst that could happen? So, because like I said, in my mind, I was like, that's 12 hours a day I could free up to meet new people. Yeah. Do more clients, start saying yes to stuff in the morning because I was saying no to a lot of stuff. And so I literally walked in, I was like, hey, yo, I'm out. And he's like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, like, he's like, what are you going to do? Like, photography. They're like, yeah, right. I'm like, bro, I'm going to just, like, they were like talking shit. Everyone in the shop was talking shit. Yeah. Like, oh, man, you'll be back. Like, everyone always comes back. Like, no, fuck y'all. I'm never coming back here. Anyway, so I quit. And, like, that next week, I was like, I had so much free time, bro. Working 12 hours a day for almost 9 years. And so, like, I remember that Monday, I was like, it's like 5 a.m. I'm awake. I'm like, all right, what the hell am I going to do today? And that's why I kind of like the panic kicked in. Like, oh, man, did I make the right decision?
I was going to ask you if you did wake up early.
Yeah, I was still waking up early for the first, like, week. Like, 6, 7, like 5:36, sometimes 7. But, man, like I said, the first year I was working, but it was basically like a long vacation for me. And because like when I left, I got like a lot of money from the company, so I was like, oh, I'm straight for a while. And for the first year, bro, like I did not take it seriously like at all. And I was still getting clients, and I was still getting a lot of work, but I was kind of like, I was getting drunk like every day. I was going out almost every day because like to me it was like a long vacation. Yeah. So for about 6 months, I was like just going places during the week just for no reason, like just because I can.
Damn, that's badass.
And like I was just like, and like for the first year, like it was all a learning curve, and then like the following year came, it's like, oh, you got to do your taxes. I'm like, taxes? Like, what are you talking about? Like, like, oh, you haven't been keeping track? I'm like, keeping track of what? Like, I'm telling you, bro, I didn't know shit. Yeah. And so the first year, like, it was literally me figuring stuff out. First 2 years figuring stuff out. And then, because I thought I could just create and everything else would take care of itself. Yeah. No, I didn't know how to write emails. I didn't know how to send invoices. I didn't know how to, like, I would send emails, like, I would text when I first started. And then I, like, very short, like, putting, like, haha or LOL. And then I'm like, so, and my girl was like, yo, you can't send emails like that. And I was like, fuck, I never went to school, so I didn't really, even when I was working at the job, I would send emails to the engineers, and they would always tell me like, hey, bro, your emails always crack us up because they're so short. I'm like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing.
And then you'll be like, because. And because you'll put like
B-C-U-Z. No, I put cuz. And it's so like, yeah, the first year, man, I was just figuring it out. Saying yes to everything, fucking did a bunch of dumbass jobs, pissed a lot of people off because, like I said, I didn't realize I was in a customer service setting. So, like, the first 2 years, I was still, like, in super defense mode. Like, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. Or, like, this is my job. Like, this is my business. Like, I'm gonna do things how I want instead of, like, oh, this is how you want it? Okay, well, let me make sure I get it to you the right way. So I was pretty like, it was rough. It was really rough. I had to learn to like expand my mind, open up, learn how to communicate well with clients. And, but the work kept coming. Like the clientele kept coming. I kept getting better. I just kept creating like daily, kept creating. And then, eventually I had hooked up with, what really popped it off, I had with the gym I still work for now in Congo. They were training athletes. That's how I got in that realm. So they were training like Arian Foster, Owen Daniels, when the Texans were still popping.
Yeah.
Andre Johnson, and then a bunch of like other random NFL athletes. And so once I got on with them, that like opened the door for everything. I was meeting all types of people, just from billionaires to athletes to just like your normal house moms, but like they were just so well connected and well respected that like they could be like, hey, this is the guy for you, and they would be like, oh, okay, cool. And I'm just really good at networking too, so I can talk. So I would just talk to everybody. I would make relationships on the side, so when they would need something, I would be there for them, and I would work for them, work for some of the athletes. That's how I got in with Deandre Hopkins.
Okay.
Got in with them, made a relationship outside, so it's like not only am I like doing content, training content for you, but like, yo, if you need like a photo shoot, because you know how he's real into fashion. Yeah. So like, oh yeah, you need anything outside of this, like hit me up. So that's kind of how I made a lot of those connections through. It was everything through them though. So I got to give them they're like pretty much a big role in my career, because PJ Tucker, met through them, Andre Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, like a lot of Will Fuller, a lot of the old Texans players, just a lot of the athletes I've met through them, and kind of just built my own relationship and started with them separately. But yeah, and then now like 2022, 4 years later, still don't know what I'm doing. No, I'm just kidding. No, and then like the last 2 years, I've really started taking it seriously, because I was like, yo, like I can't continue to just keep bullshitting this. Yeah. Because dude, like these fucking kids are so good. These kids who are coming up in this like realm, they're so fucking good at like editing and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, I'm getting my ass kicked. Like these kids are catching up to me. Like who cares what like the people I know and stuff. It's like these kids are gonna lap me. So I was like, all right, I gotta start taking this seriously. I gotta be more business minded. I started taking like business classes. I started just like stop worrying so much about creating, because that can happen naturally, and started worrying about more of like the business side of being an entrepreneur, not just a photographer. Yeah. And I think that's what kind of helped me out a lot, and helped me understand the way business works and business relationships work, and not just because I would get an issue where I get too close to some of my clients, and we would kind of like become friends, and then something bad will happen, and I get like offended by something, and it would always like I would take stuff too personal, but I'd be like, yo, you're supposed to be my boy. They're like, no, at the end of the day, you're my client. You know what I mean? So I was like, that was like a real big issue I had in the very beginning, because I just wanted to be cool with everybody. Like I wanted to be everyone's friend. You know what I mean? Like, man, what do you mean you don't like me? Like what? I'm cool.
Did you get the whole like the homie discount stuff?
I stopped that literally this year.
Really?
I finally stopped. I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, bro, I only give one of my couple of my homies discounts, that obviously like childhood homies, but I was literally everyone that I knew or kind of knew. I felt like I owed a lot of people things, so I'd always hook them up, because I'm like, oh yeah, they've always supported me. Like fuck it, yeah, here's a photo shoot, $50, or you know what I'm saying, like stuff like that. Like dude, I was tripping. Dang. But yeah, that no more homie discounts.
Yeah, so. I think I stopped that too this year.
Yeah, brother.
This is the year that I'm like,
it's hard, man. I'm like I said, I'm too nice, and I just want to like help people, and I want to see people grow, and I want to make them happy. When it comes to, like, my biggest thing is like I love seeing people's reaction when they see their like my work, but like themselves on my work, like their pictures or their video or anything. They're like, oh, this is amazing. Like, oh, I look so good. I'm like, yes, it makes me feel good.
But you know what's
this is why I do it. This is my why.
But you know what's another way to look at it? Because he used to do that, right? And I'd be like, damn, well, we got bills to pay, and stuff like that. So then when he started being like, well, I guess as a friend, like that, this is what's paying my bills. So it's like,
That's true.
And I don't know. I don't say it too much, but there's certain people that I feel comfortable with, and they'll be like, sending the deposit now, and then they'll send me the deposit. I'm like, bro, I'm like, appreciate it so much. You know, you just bought me those tickets to go to fucking
the dinosaur
theme park. You know, letting them know, like, all right, I'm gonna use this money to take my son out. You know, some shit like that.
I'm always joking around. Every time I get a deposit, I'm like, oh, thanks, man. Now I can eat tonight. And they're like, wait, what? They're like, nah, I'm just kidding. I'm like, thanks, bro. I didn't know how I was gonna eat tonight, but you really helped me. I gotta complain so much. No.
And then on Instagram, I like to post like certain topics and shit. Like, so right now, like with the homie discount stuff, I think it's pretty dope because I had asked, I'm like, do you guys, if y'all do discounts, you know, like, do you guys do discounts at the beginning, or do you get the client first full price, and then if they keep working with you, then you start, I'll hook you up with this, like, or what do you, or
that's what I'm doing now. Okay. I do that now because like a lot of my clients are they'll get stuff like in group, and like they're like, oh, okay, this time instead of just getting one, we're gonna get like 3 or 4. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll bring down the price a little bit for each one. But I feel like that's what's probably best.
But I don't think that'll be. It's like I don't think it's a homie discount. It's more like you're negotiating.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Because it's hard the other way around. Because I've done it where I'm like, oh shit, I really want to work with this guy. Like, I'll do like a really low price, and then the next time you want to raise it, and then he's like, "What the fuck? You gave me the first one like super cheap, and now you want to charge more?" You know? And I'm just like,
and then like that's when the entitlement kicks in, and they like feel disrespected. I'm like, bro, come on, like you're killing me, dog. Like it's not even that much. Like if you go anywhere else, and especially like obviously your quality of work, and like where are you gonna find this quality work even like this cheap?
Yeah.
So that's definitely an issue though, especially when it's or used to work for them for free, and then it's like all of a sudden like, hey man, I gotta start charging you. Like, what do you mean you gotta start charging me? Like, oh,
no, yeah, because I know what you mean, because we've talked about that where it's like, I don't know, for example, like if they're cutting somebody's hair, right, and then let me practice on you, so it's free, and then you get so fucking much better, and then you're like, all right, well, I can't keep cutting your hair for free for the rest of your life. Like,
that's true.
Yeah, because they feel like that now. They're lifelong. Like, oh, I got free haircuts because I started them off. Like, you know, or whatever. But I don't know, man.
But
like,
that's where the support as a friend comes in. Like, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult. It's definitely like a difficult topic with the homies, but. I still like try to look out as much as I can.
Yeah, and then
probably too much.
And then recently, I had also posted about faking it till you make it.
Oh,
you know, and but right now, like you were saying, like, oh, I was acting like I knew what I was doing. You know,
that's literally my whole like not fake it where I'm like acting like I have shit I don't, but like pretending like I'm supposed to be there. Man, I had not pretending like I'm supposed to be there, like act like I'm supposed to be here. And I got that advice from Kevin Hart's trainer, Boss. I had met him like in 2019. I forgot what we were talking about. And he was like, oh, here, I'm going to he told me to go look at one of his videos that he had about being in places where you feel like, how the fuck did I get here?
Yeah.
And he was like, basically in the video, he goes like, if you're in the room, you belong in the room. Like there's a reason why you're in that room. And so like when I heard that, like everything just clicked. And I was like, oh. Okay, I do belong. Because a lot of, man, when I first started, I was super self-conscious and I mean, even now, I'm in certain scenarios. I'm like, how the fuck did I end up in, like, what am I doing here? Yeah. And I'm always texting my chick, like, yo, guess who I'm with? I don't know how I'm here. Like, we're talking about this. She goes, what the fuck are you doing there? I'm like, dude, like, okay, for instance, just 2 weeks ago, one of my favorite movies is Friday Night Lights. And the director of that movie is Peter Berg. Peter Berg is my fighter that I travel with, is his manager. So we're in the boxing gym. He shows up. I'm like, oh shit. I start fucking saying Booby Mile quotes. I start just saying lines from the movie. And he's like, do you know him? I was like, no, absolutely not. This is one of my favorite movies. And we started talking a little bit. And he goes, hey, you want to go on a hike with me tomorrow? I'm like, yes. I'm like, nah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, for sure. Going on the hike, I'm like just asking him all these questions. Not about like how he does things. I just want to know like his process.
Yeah.
Like what's your process, you know? And he's just talking to me like some of his habits, his daily habits. And then we go to breakfast after. We start talking about like serious, like him and the trainer. We're talking serious business, and I'm just sitting here eating my bagel. Like, what am I doing? That's for instance. I'm like, I don't know how I got here, but all right, like this is dope. I get myself in a lot of those scenarios, and it's actually funny to me.
I've never thought about it like that though.
Yeah,
like,
I never.
For you to like check your surroundings and just be like, what the fuck, you know? Like,
Bro, I do that a lot. Because I'm telling you this, like, okay, another example. I don't mean to name drop, but like another example, I was having lunch. Okay, bro, this is a funny story. It's a funny ass story. Okay, so
hold on.
All right,
it's because
my bad.
It's literally about to go off like the 30-minute mark. So let's save it.
We're
for
gonna
the next...
just turn on and
damn, it's already been 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So then, what happened?
Oh, okay. So last summer, I'm working with Deandre Hopkins a lot. And he hits me randomly on a Saturday morning. And he's like, hey, bro. He calls me. He's like, hey, Mike. He's like, let's go do Soul Cycle. I'm like, what? Like, Soul Cycle? He goes, yeah, book a couple bikes. I'm like, all right. So I call Soul Cycle. I'm like, hey, can I reserve 5 bikes? And then he sends me the money and I pay for everything. We get there. He shows up. I'm like, all right, cool. Say what's up to him. And then he goes, James is coming. I'm like, James? James who? He goes, James Harden played with Rockets. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, all right, cool, like, bet.
Yeah, like, you chilling, right?
And then he goes, Debo's coming too. I'm like, Debo Samuel? He's like, yeah. I'm like, cool, like, all right. So I'm putting on my Soul Cycle shoes, and then me and Hopper just talking, and then James walks in. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what's up, bro? I've never met him, but the trainers I work with, they worked with him for 2 years. Those 2 years when he was in his last 2 years in Houston. So I've heard all about him and stuff like that, but I never like worked with him.
Yeah.
So that was my first time meeting him. And then Debo Samuel walks up. I'm like, oh, this is fucking nuts. Say what's up to him. We go on Soul Cycle, bro. Where it's like me, James Harden, DeAndre Hopkins, and Debo Samuel. It's like I'm over here on the bike, like looking to my left and right, like what the fuck am I doing? And I'm like, we're doing the classes and they're all into it, doing the dance. I'm like, and then like D Hop's looking at me, he's like, hey man, this shit live. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, bro. We get done with the class and we go to lunch. Next door at Local Foods, and I'm just sitting there at the table with them, just like, this is fucking nuts. Like, how did I end up in this moment? And they're like talking, like, it was pretty dope hearing them talk about like their sport though, like the stuff we don't see. But that was definitely one of the moments I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, it's just funny. It's like, why am I doing Soul Cycle with James Harden and DeAndre? It's super random, bro. It's fucking hilarious, but it's funny. It's cool.
Do you ever think back, like, obviously, like, do you feel like the people you used to work with at the company, do you think they follow you like on social media?
Oh, bro, yes. They're always hitting me up. They're always like, damn, bro, I'm proud of you. I see you doing your thing. I'm like, shut up. No, you don't. You're fucking hating on me. You were talking shit when I left. I'm like, fuck you. No, but it's no hate. I'm like, hey, man, appreciate it. But yeah, a lot of them do hit me up a lot. They're always telling me they're proud of me. So it's pretty dope to see, especially like my friends and stuff too, because obviously they're like, they see me doing it, but they're like, okay. Then they see me like without me telling them, like they'll see me on like a UFC channel. They'll see me in the background like filming Derek Lewis or something. They're like, yo, that's crazy, and blah blah blah. Like, yo, like super proud of you. You're doing great. And I'm like, oh, this is what I've been wanting. I just want acceptance from y'all. But
do you think your pricing kind of like reflected upon like
your clients
and everybody?
No, I still fucking struggle with pricing, bro. That's another thing that I don't know if that'll ever
get it down,
get better, get it down. Because like people say it's a feeling, and I get that, but like a lot of times, like going back to what you said, like I just want to like help, and I don't want to. I feel if I believe in like the product or I believe in that person, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to scare you away, but at the same time, I'm like, this is how much I'm really worth. But fuck, like I can't. And like it's just it's a struggle. I still struggle with, like, even yesterday I struggled with pricing someone who wanted a couple jobs, and it's going back and forth in my head. But I feel like I don't charge. I don't feel like I charge enough. I feel like I still charge way too low.
Oh, okay.
But I do get a lot of bookings just because they see who I work with. They're like, oh, we see you worked with. We want to work with you because we see some of the people you worked with.
Okay.
So it does help. It gives me leverage, but I still feel like my pricing's still way too low.
So do you have a website portfolio or?
Man, that's another thing too. Like I had a website, and this is kind of goes back to like being in my head a lot. Like I'm super self-conscious about showing my work, and like sometimes I'll go months, like a whole month without posting because I don't like anything I'm doing. And so the same thing, like I took down my website because I was like, oh, I hate it. I hate everything on here, and I haven't. It's been like 6 months, and I haven't put one back up. And I think it's hurting me because I like. People just see my Instagram. Obviously, Instagram's Instagram, but I need to put it back up. I just gotta, like I said, I gotta get out of my head. I have it, everything set up, and I have everything to send to the guy, but I keep looking at it like, nah, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes back to like, man, comparing yourself to other people is a motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
That shit. I've gotten to the point where like I have to stop watching so much, like YouTube videos and like other people that inspire me, because it's like I'm like, as I'm working, I'm like, this doesn't look like his, or this doesn't look like this person's. So like I'll get in my head and I won't post it. I won't put it out there, and I'll end up like just sitting on it. And then like a couple months later, I'm like, oh, why did I ever post that? That's weird. And I'll post it, and everyone's like, oh, this is crazy. I'm like, oh yeah, it is kind of crazy. You know, you look at it. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of crazy. So that's one thing I definitely struggle with a lot. Like even to this day, I think all of January I didn't post because I was in my head. I was in my head a lot, and like just, bro, it's so stupid. Like, oh man, and I want to know. I'm sure a lot of creators deal with this. I was texting a lot. You know, Amos, the guy from New York. He took the very last picture of XXXTentacion.
No.
He took the very last picture of X, and he ended up flipping it as an NFT for $125,000.
Shit.
And I was texting him about like anxiety and stuff like that, and he goes, bro, he's like, why do you think I didn't post for like almost a year? Because he was like in his head about all his work and stuff like that. And I was like, holy shit, like if you're dealing with this, then I felt a little bit better and more comfortable, because I was like, okay, then what I'm going through is normal and it's okay. And so just gotta kind of, man, you just gotta push through. And I started just posting because I wanted to, and showing my work because I want to show it, not for the likes and for the views. Even though it's very difficult to be like, damn, this photo got 50 likes, but this photo got 400. Like, but I like this photo way better than this photo. Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, do I keep doing this because this is what people like? But I was like, but I really like this. So that's kind of one thing like I'm working on now, is just doing stuff that I enjoy and want to do, instead of doing it just for like the clout.
Yeah, because I feel like when it's situations like that where it's like, you know, the work is better over here and it's getting more less likes or whatever, I feel like it's more algorithm based, you know, and it's not even that people think, oh, this one's better. It's just it's getting pushed more, or is getting some sort of interaction or engagement, you know.
I know. I was doing reels, and I was like, all right, in February I'm gonna do reels, and they were like doing really good, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what people talk about. And then my Instagram stopped working. I couldn't post reels. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. So like I posted 3, and then I couldn't post anymore. It literally would not let me choose a song for up until like last week, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna start posting them again. But it's just like I can see why like Instagram is the way it is now, because I'll post so I was posting those reels and they'll do really well, like over anywhere, like, well, for me, anywhere between 5 to 10K views, like 300-400 likes and stuff like that. And then I'll post a picture that I'm like, oh, this picture is fire, and I'll post it gets like 50 likes. I'm like, man, fuck this shit. Like, it just messes with your head. It's so stupid. It's
hard to not compare yourself to others.
Man, it is very hard. It's very, very difficult, man. And
but do you just imagine that people compare themselves to you?
It also still trips me out when people hit me up like, hey man, I want to shadow you, or hey man, like, love your work, I look up to you. I'm like, what? Like, me? Like, because I still like I said, I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. So I'm like constantly trying to like learn and evolve, and so when they were telling me that, I'm like, I guess I kind of do maybe know what I'm doing. So I was like, I'll try to respond to everybody, because I remember how it was when I was, dude. And the thing was, like, when I started, it was the Wild West. No one knew what they were doing. And like now there's like all these courses, and there's like all these YouTube creators like showing you all these crazy how-to videos. But like back when I started, like 2017, it was just like every man for themselves. I'm not telling you my secrets because this is how I'm being successful. So I remember like reaching out to people, hey man, how did you get these colors, or how do you do slow mo, or like, you know what I'm saying, like really basic questions. And so like I get those questions now, and I answer. I'll go on a whole like 30-minute rant with them, just kind of maybe too much, but like I'll respond because I know how that feels to not know how to do anything and not.
Sucks, yeah.
Dude, it fucking sucks. I'm like watching these guys like, how the fuck are they doing that? And it's like, hey man, how did you do this? And like, learn on your own, or like,
I hate that.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, or like do your research.
Yeah, like, oh bro, like here I'll send you to a couple like websites that I learned from or shit like that. I'm like, all right, bro, fuck you. Like, I'll figure it out on my own.
We were literally having that conversation yesterday, and I feel like it's just something that we push too about. You know, she says sharing is caring, you know, and it's like...
I live by sharing is caring, man.
But yeah, it's because it's like, why hold in like so much knowledge? I mean, you're just afraid that somebody's going to pass you up with the knowledge you give them, you know? Because she was saying, here, this is what I know. You do with it what you want, you know, or whatever. And if they pass you up, then you're not working enough, you know?
No, that's that's a very good point, actually.
And then, you know, yesterday we had the podcast with Luke, and he said... there's always going to be more buyers than sellers anyways.
Yeah. So more clients than people that are doing the actual work.
Yeah. And honestly, when he said that yesterday, and I'm like, oh shit, that is true. Like you see your competition. Like it's a lot because you're paying attention to them, but you don't pay attention to who's actually like buying from you, or like who's booking you, you know? Yeah. And I was like, when he said that, I was like, oh shit, that is so true.
Yeah. That's crazy that you said that, 'cause that's something I actually told myself, like last month, because I'm always like, I don't want to do that. Everyone's doing that. But I'm like, everyone to me is only who I follow and who I pay attention to. But like everyone to everyone else isn't like doing like cliche, like creator stuff, like post or whatever like that. But like not everyone's doing, only everyone's doing that because that's who I follow. Yeah. So it seems like I see all day. I'm like, oh, same shit. But if I post it, people who aren't in this like creative space and they see it, it's like, oh wow, this is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's like one thing I have to try. That's what it kind of goes back to, like, stop consuming myself with so much information. Yeah. And so much like trying to find inspiration from watching all these videos, and then I sit there, I'm like, damn, I fucking suck. Like, there's no way I could keep going, bro. I've wanted to quit so many times. That shit. Yeah, it's just
no, and I think it is important to like. It's because you want to support other people that are in your like same creative space or doing the same thing. But if you're just constantly watching their shit, then you kind of like start going back and forth where like, well, where Mike's doing this, let me do this, you know, and shit like that, instead of feeding off of each other. And so I've kind of like stopped looking at certain people's pages that I kind of, not that I want to copy, but I want to like kind of like, all right, that's kind of the route I want to go, you know? Yeah. But it's like, if you start doing your own thing, then it becomes like, because now with the Vogue Studios, with like my graphic design, I have a certain look. And now when people see, like, they come to me and they're like, oh, I want you to do this, but kind of give it that look you do, you know? And it's like, all right, now it's like,
it's I hear that a lot too. Thing, you know? Like, oh, hey, put your like, do your little thing, put your little swag on it. I'm like, I don't do anything different. Like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything out of the ordinary.
But
like,
they see it.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh man, you have like just like color tones. Like, oh dude, I love your colors. I'm like, do you love my colors? Because like, I feel like I don't even like my own colors.
But you know what's crazy? Because I started my own clothing brand in January. And thank you. And I don't think I follow like a clothing brand. I mean, they're boutiques, but it's different, right? A little bit different. But I tell him that I do follow like 2 brands that I see, and I'm like, this is not what I want. You know? Yeah. So I think maybe it does help me, because I don't feel like I do like compare myself too much, you know? But I see them, and I'm just like, I show him, I'm like, babe, this is not what I want. Yeah. So help me stay away from this, you know?
So I'm always like, man, that's corny, you know? So it's like, I just like, don't do this. It's kind of corny. It's gonna fall under this. Like,
no, 100%. You know? That's kind of like for like in the video world, like throwing all those effects on it. Yeah, that was like me. I was like, all right, I do not want to do that. And then when people come, hey man, I want like these videos with crazy effects. I'm like, bro, I don't personally do that. And before I used to be like, all right, yeah, I'll do it. And I used to be sitting there trying to struggle how to learn these effects, bro. And I'm like, man, I don't know how to fucking do it. So that's why I was like, let me just stick to like what I'm good at, what I feel comfortable in. And like, you know, end of the day, like storytelling always wins. And that's kind of like all the effect stuff and all that. Well, it's cool for the moment, but like it's easily forgotten about. But like a lot of videos that I remember that I still go back and watch, it's like, there's no effects. This is all storytelling, how it made me feel at that moment. And so that's kind of like one thing I try to do when I'm working on my projects. Just like trying to make people feel, remember, how does this feel, and make them just feel special, especially if it's something about themselves. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's been a good little journey.
That's badass.
Especially like, and then like, I'm not sure if you want to tap in like to the mental health side, but like that itself, and that's sometimes a lot. Like I remember when I first started, I was just like, man, I don't feel like anyone's going through what I'm going through. Like, cause I was going through a lot, bro. And I like, I was just kind of like constantly comparing, like, it's not fair. No one has to do what I have to do to push through to do all this shit. And then like looking back at it, it's like it was my own journey. Mm-hmm. And like everyone has their own journey, right? And you know, like the stuff that I went through, I'm happy because it actually helped me and pushed me. Like that company I work for, I mean that music group, Drama. Mm-hmm. I've been with them for 3 years. They fired me for 1 year because I was so in my head and I was going through shit at the time with my family, just a lot of bullshit, and I was like falling into a depression. I'm like, what are these feelings? Like I don't understand. I'm fucking crying all the time. Like it was just all this shit. My fucking good friend died. Like one of my closest friends died. And I'm like, so I would try to use it as an excuse not to, deliver.
Deliver.
So they were like, I don't care what the fuck you're going to. You're out. And I'm like, dude, that was, bro, honestly, it felt like a heartbreak. I fucking cried for like 2 weeks. I like literally felt like someone broke up with me. I'm like, I just lost this client. Like, how could I just kept saying, I'm so stupid. How could I do this? But it kind of goes back to, like, it doesn't matter like obviously it matters what you're going through, but like clients don't care. Like they do not fucking care.
Yeah, because honestly it's very that's when we've had an episode where we talked about like mental health or whatever. And I said it on there, like, there's the weak-minded people and then there's strong-minded. Yeah. But it's nothing wrong to be weak-minded, you know? But you want to get to the strong-mind mentality.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You know? But nobody can get you there but you. So
and
it's like,
and that, like, getting fired, best thing that happened to me. And I tell, like, now that they rehired me back and I'm touring with them again, and I always fucking around. I'm like, hey, man, remember you fired me that one time? And he's like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. And I'm like, man, I was sad, dog. Let me be sad.
I was going
through it, bro. Like, I didn't know how to fucking, like, I didn't know how to deal with it. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad it happened because it definitely taught me to, like, grow up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not every, like, your problems, obviously your problems matter, but shit still need to get done. And so I'm like using it as an excuse, like, oh, hey man, it's gonna be another week, you know.
Yeah, that's how
all this shit's happening in my life.
Yeah.
And and I'm like, once that happened, kind of like everything, the flip switch. And I mean, I still,
the switch flip.
Yeah, the flip switch. Is it switch flip?
The switch flip.
The switch flip.
The switch flip.
The switch flip. And you know, yeah, whatever the fucking saying is. The switch flip. And yeah, I kind of, everything opened my eyes a little bit more, and it's just like, obviously take care of myself and take care of like my mental health and stuff like that, but it's also like, you need to do your job at the end of the day. Yeah. Because you will get replaced.
No, yeah, it's more like people aren't going to wait for you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so. And lucky enough, a lot of my clients are like, we've built those relationships. They're like, yo, I get you're going through things, but like, hey, I really need that shit. And I'm like, all right, bro, I'm trying to push through it while crying and editing.
But you know, if you didn't push through it, like if you didn't push through it, then where would you be?
No, 100%.
You know,
so it was definitely that 2020. It was definitely like the difficult / eye-opening year, because now I got fired, lost like one of my closest friends, and then dealing with like all these emotions for the first time. And I'm like, what is going on with my life? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, damn.
You were like, why me?
Yeah, no. I was like, why do I have to deal with this? Like, no one else is going through this. But I don't know what else everyone's going through. So everyone has their own battles. But yeah. So
yeah, for sure. But it's good that you did mention that, because you really do. I don't know. I guess he has like the happy, right? Like you wouldn't think mental stuff. Like,
oh yeah, no, and that's always been like I even posted some on my personal page recently. Like I'm super open about it now because I feel like me coming from my background, I was super ignorant mental. Man, fuck, quit being a bitch, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stop. Like, suck it up. Like, bro, like, get over it. Like, that was my, get over it. They're bullshitting. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I was super ignorant about it. And now that I'm on the other side, I'm like, oh, damn. Now I get it. Like, I get it now. I'm like, all right, I want to help as much people as I can. So I'm like, on my personal page, I'm super open about it. Like, on my feelings and how I feel. And like, yeah, I've had like suicidal thoughts and stuff like that, but everyone has. Like, it's those thoughts that like, oh, I'm gonna jump out this fucking window and if I die, fuck it. Like, that's considered a suicidal thought. But am I actually gonna do it? No. But like, it crossed my mind. Driving like, damn, my life sucks. Like, come out the car, like, and people were like, yo, like I never knew you were going through it, blah blah. I'm like, yeah, man, like it is what it is. I didn't like now. Like a lot of my friends are coming to me like, hey man, this is kind of what I'm going through. I'm like, yo, let's talk about it. Yeah. Like, what's up?
Yeah. And it kind of, not that it sucks, but like as far as for me, like it's now I'm 29, so it's like now at this age I'm starting to be more aware of like people's stuff. And my homeboy, he's always asking me like, hey bro, we should go get a drink, we should, whatever. And I'm always like, I'm super busy, so I'm always like, all right, next week, or I just never did it. And then recently I went out for a drink with him, and it was just real cool, bro. Like just hearing him and hearing him out, what he's been going through and stuff like that. And then we have these podcasts, and we have these people on here that on social media it just seems fine, and then you get to see like, all right, what they're going through, what they struggle with, and just everything that not everything goes like well for them.
Yeah.
Like,
or not everything is based off your social media,
Yeah.
Because people can look at my social media and be like, oh, she's never gone through it.
Yeah.
When it's like I have, but I mean, it's just, I just don't put it out there,
Yeah. And that kind of goes back to like, when celebrities talk about they're going through it, like obviously I'm not a celebrity, but like people think that about me. So they're like, oh, like your life's fucking perfect. Like you're hanging out with all these celebrities and athletes. And then when I was like going through it, they're like, oh, how could that be possible? It's like, I think about now, like, okay, if I was this super famous person, all this money, yeah, they have everything. But now when they go through shit, I'm like, damn, I get it. Like, I understand how you feel now. So I kind of feel for them. Obviously, a little bit less because, like, bro, you straight. Like, you have all access to, like, the best. Like, you could get the best therapist in the world, the best rehab center. So, like, you could get help. For us, it's a little harder. Like, all right, let me talk to my homies. Bad advice. Let me talk to my other homie. Oh, that ain't gonna work either. Like,
you're gonna go with somebody.
Like, all right, let me go see a therapist. Fuck it. Like, all right, like my homies are not giving me good advice.
Man, like fucking Kanye's going crazy. Like bro. Like that's like being like, all right, he's a regular dude. I guess he's having all these crazy thoughts or whatever. Like.
Human emotions,
human emotions, and showing it, like not keeping it like as a celebrity. Like I'm not gonna let nobody know. Like and I'm pretty sure Kim is probably like, God damn, I'm supposed to keep up this image, and you're over here like, like that one interview where what was it? It's where they tour the house.
Oh my God!
Is it Vanity, bro? Or I don't know what it is.
Yes.
And she's like something about the jacuzzi. And he's like, can you believe that we don't have a jacuzzi? Oh yeah. like that's like such a big problem type shit. Like.
Bro, that
I don't know, dude. Like,
yeah, that
I mean, the more money you have,
your problems become like, well, I wish I had a jacuzzi. What the fuck, like, but they're over here. Like,
I definitely appreciate like little shit now. And I like started journaling, and like the first thing I asked, like, what are 3 things that you're grateful for every day? And I mean, it could be something as simple as water bottle.
Yeah,
I literally wrote today getting invited on this podcast. Like that's something, small stuff like that, and it kind of the little wins help you. Just living in the moment helps you keep going instead of getting frustrated, like thinking in the future, like, oh man, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to be at that point. Instead, it's like, all right, what am I doing right now? What's like today's a great day. I'm getting on this podcast. I'm fucking talking to y'all. Like, it's dope.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, today's a good day. I'm going to go back home and edit. So we're good. Like,
No,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
you're right though. Because at the beginning of the year in January, I had like this journal, and it has like the month, and it gives a little quote, and it has a line for each day of the month, and you just write what you're grateful for that day. I did it for January, right? But I just haven't. Which now I kind of want to. Go back and do it.
I mean, I don't do it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I try to do it every day, but it's like every other day, 2 days in a row. I miss a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I'm always, every time I do it, I'm like, damn, I felt fucking good. Like, why don't I do that more?
Yeah,
But-
you just need
No, I
to
should
build
do
that
that.
habit. Because I remember on there I was like, oh, what are you grateful for? And I had like 2 rolling, and I put a little heart. Remember I showed
Yeah.
you? And you're like, you're grateful for me? And I'm like, yeah,
Like,
I'm grateful for you.
no, but
Damn.
yeah, because I was gonna ask you, I'm like, do you still even use that thing? But
I have it there, like,
Yeah.
well, you seen the whole, you
Uh-huh.
know, chaos right there.
Yeah.
That's like my office, you know, but yeah, I have it. I just need to get back on it because I haven't messed with it or anything.
We got a little off topic. My bad.
No,
I kind of went right on your questions.
Nah, the questions is really more of like,
It's
we
just-
want to ask
yeah.
them, but
Yeah.
it's like for, so we don't have like awkward
and then I'm just
moments.
looking down at my phone, not because I'm texting or
No,
anything.
yeah,
It's
I-
just like checking off, like, all right, like we,
Yeah.
you know, like to keep track of
Yeah, because our mother-in-law just texted us that our son had an accident
again.
today and that he didn't have extra underwear.
Oh shit!
Somebody packed the backpack.
Damn,
Damn it.
damn, that sucks.
He's potty trained and he's really good about it, but I just feel like he's been
Uncomfortable
waiting.
space?
No, he's been waiting. Like, I don't know why lately he's been like
Last minute.
having to, you know, go, and
Yeah.
he doesn't make it, and it's
I'm
just
not
like,
going to make it.
yeah.
It's like challenging himself.
Me
I don't
as
know
an
what he's
adult
doing.
running to my apartment. Oh!
But I did read that it is like a stage that they go through. So I mean, I guess whatever.
Damn, that's funny.
At least he's not in like a public place. You
Yeah,
know,
that's
so.
true. That's true. Throw him in the shower.
All right, you want to go on break and then we come back.
Okay, yeah.
We're about to hit the 30.
Okay. So for going back to your like business and stuff, do you travel a lot for like?
Yeah, I started traveling a lot, and 2019 was the first time I went on tour. I went like on a 15-day tour. It's funny because people think like when I thought tour life, I was like, dog, it's gonna be dope, like Sprinter vans. Private jets, and like, bro, we were in a caravan driving city to city.
Oh my god!
It was like me, the 2 artists, and their manager, and we're driving from Boston all the way down to South Carolina, and stopping like 6 cities on the way. And you know, again, like I thought in my mindset, I was like, oh, we're gonna be at stadiums, like Toyota Center, like shit like that. But we're at like bars with like stages, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, but I was still like, this is so dope. Like, because like in my mind, I was like, oh man, I can't wait to be like 3 years from now. Like, yo, remember when we played at that 100-person bar? And that's like happening now, which is fucking nuts. Like we did Outside Lands, and Life is Beautiful and Outside Lands in October, which are 2 music festivals. And probably 15,000-20,000 people in the crowd, maybe, all there to see them. And I'm like, damn. And the whole time I was like running around filming, I'm like, dude, I remember when it was like 100 people in the bar, and it's just like small, like the stage smaller than this room, like tiny stage, and they can't, and they can't really move around. I can't get on stage, and I'm just like taking pictures, like, and now it's just dope to see the growth. But yeah, no. So back to what you were saying. Yeah, I travel a lot for work with them. I go on tour with them a lot. I go actually New York. Man, actually this month is gonna be crazy. So I go to New York on Wednesday. They have a show in Brooklyn on Thursday. Fly back, and then I go to Chicago Saturday. They have a show. Fly back, home for a couple days, and then I go to Dubai with my fighter. He's fighting in Dubai next week on the 16th. 19th, I'm sorry. He's fighting on the 19th. And then I get back from Dubai, and then I'm going to Mexico back with Drama. That's the tour. That's who I tour with. I go to Mexico for 4 days with them, and then I come back for a day, and then I'm going on a personal trip to Colorado. But that's just. And that's just
something
crazy.
casual.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a slight word. You know what I'm saying? Dubai, Emirates, first class. Nah, they got me by the restroom, man. Air France, shout out Air France. Nah, it's.
And what is your girl think? She goes with you?
Nah, so we just I was telling her we just got back together. We were like a year-long break.
Okay.
And so we just got back together like pretty recently, and I've thought about inviting her. But I just don't want to have to kind of like worry about like kind of keeping her company, even though I know she's cool on her own. But I don't know. I'd just rather like, because when I'm on tour, like it's literally like I'm filming the whole time, taking pictures. And as soon as I get a little break, I'm like editing, edit photos. Here, post this. We go on, like we do a photo shoot before they go on stage, edit the pictures, post before they go on stage. They perform, I'm filming, taking photos. I get done. Edit a couple photos, they post right after. And in the morning, the recap video has to be done. Damn. So it's like, I don't know where I can like hang out with you. And so I haven't yet, but I feel like I will soon though.
How's the money like? Since you're pretty much living with them and
and that's another thing too. This year I wanted to focus on more. So like the fun stuff is for fun. Don't live off the fun stuff. Yeah. And that's why that was my mistake. I was trying to make a living off the fun stuff. Unless you're with like a fucking Justin Bieber or Drake, they're breaking you off like a big salary. Other than that, a lot of these artists don't have the budget, right?
Yeah.
And like their management companies are going to be like, nah, like no matter how much you not no matter how much you cost, but a lot of these management companies are not willing to pay for photographers and tour photographers and videographers. So the money like. I mean, I'll fucking say it. I don't care. Like every time, basically, for the first year, I worked for them for free. Like and I was touring. I was paying for my own plane tickets. Like I was doing anything because like I said, in my mindset, I was like, dude, I fucking believe in y'all. So if they were in Texas, I'll drive wherever they were at. They were in. I flew to LA. I flew to Chicago for them. I flew to Boston. Like I was paying out of pocket. And then they would. Niall is one of the artists. He would give me some money every once in a while. But it was never like, I'm charging you for this much.
Yeah.
Probably for like the first 8 months. And then towards the end, they started paying me. But now now every time I see them, I get anywhere between like $1,000 and $1,500 for like 3 days. So it's not too bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But like I said, like you can't make a living off that because I mean, I see them once a month, maybe if that, or like once every 2 months. So it's like, you gotta. I was always looking for the fun stuff because I was like, oh, traveling's dope, But I'd be like, damn, I'm spending a lot of money when I'm out here. Like, because obviously, like, when you're with them, they'll pay for your shit. But, like, I'm like, oh, I want to go and do this by myself for a day. And I'm, like, paying for everything. And like, Ubers, like, add up and, like, stuff like that. But.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, like. The artists are already talking about budget, so I'm not going to be like, oh, hey, like, by the way, here's a $100 Uber bill I did last night. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? They're going to be like,
where the fuck were you going?
Like, I didn't tell you to go out there. You know what I'm saying? So, like the fun stuff should be fun. It should all be, you shouldn't depend your money on the fun stuff. But yeah, I get paid. And then, like, the fighter, he pays me, like $1,000. Like, right now we're in camp. He gives me, like $1,000 a week for like photos and videos, and I basically give them unlimited content. And
it's just you, right? It's not a team or anything.
It's just me.
Have you thought about having a team?
I have a kind of a team. Samuel Solis is I basically use him for everything. Mm-hmm. Anytime I need help, I'll call him, and vice versa. But I've been thinking about that. I kind of want to start like a boxing. Because I'm in that fighting world a lot. Mm-hmm. I'll kind of want to start, like, like the All Access, like Showtime All Access. Mm-hmm. And like, remember the HBO's 24/7s? I don't know if you remember all those. Anyways, it's all like behind the scenes of training camp. I've been thinking of starting a company where we're covering like different fighters and not just like the high level fighters, but like even like some of the smaller fighters, you know what I mean?
The upcoming ones.
Yeah, the upcoming ones. I definitely thought about that just because I'm kind of making a name for myself, and a lot of people are knowing me, and I'm showing up to fights, and I'm like introducing. That's one thing. Oh, like that's probably like networking is king, no matter what you do. So don't overthink it. If you're in a room with a bunch of people, go introduce yourself to everybody. I mean, you don't even have to talk to them, but they'll remember you because there's been plenty of times I'll be in Vegas and at a fight, and a guy's like, "Hey, I remember meeting you 2 years ago. You're a big camera guy." I'm like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Oh man, blah blah blah." We're exchanging information. Next thing you know, I'm shooting one of his fighters. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I've really been big on introducing myself, being respectful of the place.
Yeah.
Same thing. The boxing gym here in Houston, Main Street Boxing Gym. I was going in there. I like just was like, oh, I want to get into fighting. I want to start doing boxing videos. And I had a friend that just trained there, and so I would just show up and just shoot him. But I always made it to a point to go introduce myself to the owner, all the coaches. Like, hey man, this is what I'm gonna be doing. Like, y'all cool with it? And eventually they were like, hey, like we have a couple high level guys. You want to shoot? I'm like, oh fuck yeah. So that's how I got Regis now. And they would always tell me like, yo, we always liked the way you were super respectful of our place. I'm like, bro, this is not my spot. Like, y'all motherfuckers will whoop my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care how tough I can act, but y'all are some real life fighters. But yeah, man, just networking and is a big thing that I try to. I always say like, just get me in the room. So like when I'm traveling a lot, I'm like, oh hell yeah, like where am I gonna be at? What festival? What fight? Like, okay, who's gonna be there? Like, okay, let me go try to meet them, or let me go try to maneuver weasel my way around in certain situations. So, but yeah, back to your question. Yeah, I travel a lot. My bad. But yeah. And so yeah, it's fun. It's fun though, man. But definitely have to, like I was saying, like the fun stuff is the fun stuff, and should stay the fun stuff. You shouldn't try to make a living off that unless your artist gets signed. Say tomorrow Drama gets this $50 million deal. They're like, hey, we want to put you on $100,000 salary. Bet. Yeah. I'm good. Like, I'm straight.
I'm thinking like, how did you know? Or you got to trust your gut, I guess, that they're like, all right, they're going to do something,
Yeah.
And it goes back, I was going to say like, it goes to the Kanye documentary, like Cootie.
Bro,
like, it's like, he's over here saying like, I'm going to stop my stuff to film him, what if it had never worked out, like shit like that,
I literally feel like that a lot, because a lot of times I would tell my chick a couple years ago, I'd be like, dude, I gotta be there, like I don't care if I have to pay, like I have to be there to document whatever they're doing. And yeah, I mean, sometimes I go through this footage now and I'm like, wow, like this is crazy. Like we're in a small ass room, maybe this big, maybe even smaller, bro, like a broom closet almost, changing, getting ready for the show. And I have all this documented, which is dope. And so now we're in like these huge festival, like we have like our own we have our own trailer. It says like Drama on it. It's like has showers. It's super nice. And it's like, damn, like it's crazy, bro. That shit's nuts. That's a fucking crazy feeling. That's super cool. But yeah, I travel a lot. No.
How'd you get in contact with Inaka? Because as far as like I see, like Inaka's been like this like Houston brand, and it's just blowing up, and
shout out to Charlie.
Yeah, shout out Charlie, because I would watch him, because I would watch Christian, and so, but now I see him doing his thing, and they're like taking over, bro.
Yeah,
like, so,
no, they're completely taking over.
Yeah,
with Charlie, I had met him 2018, like right when I first started, and he was looking for a videographer to shoot his vlogs. And I actually, saw him at the gym, and I was just, I think we talked. He was on the treadmill doing cardio for an hour, and I just sat next to him and talked to him the whole time. But we were the only ones in the gym, so it was straight. It wasn't like weird. And we just talked like normal shit, bro. Like just, I didn't once like tell him like, hey, like let me be your guy. I was just like, yo, like what's up? Like, tell me about yourself. Kind of became friends there. Sam Solis actually ended up being his personal videographer for vlogs and stuff. And then when Inaka came around, basically Sam would always be like, hey, we need help for every shoot. So I just help out. I don't work for them like directly, but I just work for their drops. So I'll just help out with all their drops. And I'm basically just like, man, anything I can do. If I have to hold a light, I'll hold a light. If I'm operating camera, I'm operating the camera. But whatever I can do. Because I feel like that Samuel's space and his project, and I don't want to step on any toes.
Oh, okay.
So I'm very like, just like, yeah, wherever you need me. Like, hey, can you hold this sheet? Yeah, I'll hold the sheet. Like, it's not my project.
It's like how he helps you.
Yeah, exactly. But they they're cool dudes. They fuck with me. It's all love every time I see them. So yeah, that's pretty much. I just work for them on their big projects. They contract me out.
And so, like Drama and Regis. Well, it's not just Regis, right? It's just like other. Fighters?
Yeah, so it's like a couple of Ammo Williams. He's an upcoming middleweight at 165, and then Regis Prograis. I was shooting this UFC fighter from Houston. He's a HPD by day, and like UFC fighter by night. I shot him like twice, but it's basically just them two, Regis and Ammo, my main two guys, and then pretty much whoever like.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask if there's somebody that are those the people, your core people that you just constantly work for.
Yeah, so it's drama, Regis, Ammo, Congo. Congo's like my monthly income.
Okay. Yeah,
and they basically call me when they need me. So those four. And then, honestly, yeah, it's just those. Honestly, I have like 4 clients, and when the athletes come, like when a lot of the NFL athletes come for off season, they hit, like some of them hit me up, but other than that, it's just those 4 make my weddings, and weddings. That's pretty much how I make my money.
Now you price that like super. Like,
yeah, I'm around fair. Like 35 to 5,000. Okay. So I try to do like 5 or 6 a year because I can't do too many. I get really behind on weddings because I'm just like, fuck, it's just so much fucking work. Like it's just it takes me because like I have ADD really bad. Mm-hmm. So for me to sit down for like 6 hours and edit, bro, it's impossible. So it will take me like days. I'll do like 30 minutes. Like, all right, I gotta get up and do something. So what? 30 minutes to an hour, just because like I know, just because like it's like a mental thing. If I know I'm working like on a sick ass 45-second edit, I can be there because I know it's only 45 seconds. But the fact that I'm like, this has to be a 10-minute long video, like fuck, this is gonna take me forever. Yeah. So it's just like a mental thing, but.
Yeah, I was gonna say like ADD is not ADHD, or is this? Kind of.
How do I explain the ADHD? I don't know. People are about to roast me. If y'all have it, my bad. I mean, I got diagnosed last year, and it totally made me understand like
why I
was the way I was. I'm like, I'm fucking hyper. I'm bouncing off the walls, but then like I'll procrastinate my ass off, and everything I was doing was half-ass. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I'll be reading something, it's just like. Whoa. I'm like, damn, how many times I gotta read this question? Bro, and like now I call my smart pills. I'm like, I gotta take my smart pills. So even before I came here, like, gotta take my smart pills. Because if not, bro, I'll fucking be like, I mean, I'm already high energy, right? And it's like
you are.
I'm a lot. Like I know I'm a lot. So like when I get around people that are real chill, they're like, bro, you're draining me. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry.
I think my bad. I think Roland's the very chill one.
Oh yeah,
he's I think he does get his energy drained of somebody that's very hyper.
My dog's gonna pass out after this.
Because we'll have our son, and he's always like everywhere, and Roland's like, can you just sit down? Like,
and I'm like, all right, that was fun. And he comes back with more toys, and he's like, all right, this one's for you. This one's for. I'm like. That's tired, bro. Like, let me just, let me chill out,
So you're a little bit more introverted?
Yeah, I'm very introverted. Super. So, like, I don't mind. Like, sometimes she's like, hey, me and Milo are going to go to my mom's. Like, we're going to go. I'm like, perfect. Like, I'm house by myself. I'm just chilling.
I've learned to be alone, be by myself. Like, before last year, before I lived by myself, I could not be by myself. Like, I would always have to call someone, go somewhere with someone. Couldn't even like simple like as in like go on a run. I could not go on a run by myself. I'm like, I need someone there with me.
That is so crazy that you say that because I used to be like that.
Mm-hmm. But it's bad. It's not good to be like that.
But I didn't think anything of it, And then I got pregnant, and now I have Milo, so Milo is with me all the time.
Yeah.
And then it's just like I was literally
got your
just
little permanent best friend.
Yeah.
A little tiny human.
So it's like I told him yesterday we were like leaving his parents' house, and I was just like, oh, you know that like I do dances with Milo, and he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, yeah, I'm in the truck and I'm like singing songs and dancing, and he's like, oh, why don't you do that with me? And I'm just like,
Turn left.
Yeah, and I'm like, damn, that's so crazy. I'm like, you don't act like that and shit, like around me. And
but
shit,
it's like, it's so crazy because we've been together. I told you, like 12. We're about to be 12 years this year, and I mean, I still consider myself like with my family, like my mom and my cousins. Like I feel they say like me and my other cousin somos las locas de la familia. Mm-hmm. You know Spanish?
No, I don't. But
so
I
they say
know those
like
things.
we're like the crazy ones out of the family, right? But I feel like he doesn't see that.
Oh, okay.
You know. Yeah. But it's just because I'll be like that with them. I'll be like that with my siblings and with Milo. And then I come with Roland and I'm like, oh, what's up, babe? Like,
I know, after fucking 12 years, and I'm just like, like, I guess.
Dude, I never used to understand any of that. And one of my friends is super introverted. I was like, bro, come out with me, please. And I just feel like all in his face, like, man, stop, you're freaking me out. Now I get it. Now I'm like, okay, like, what do you want to do? Like, let's do some things you want to do.
Do you want to read a book? I mean, we can.
Yeah, like, we can go for a walk. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, but at the same time, I can be like outgoing and shit. Like I'm serious, but I can be outgoing. Yeah. You know, it's like I'll be out and shit.
I'll tell you the secret. To get him to be as hyper as you, give him like 4 beers.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. My family knows already.
That's funny as fuck.
He'll go to my family's events, and literally my uncles, even my mom, be like, Roland, you want a beer? And he'll take it. So that's how they do it.
Not today.
That's how they get me. That's how they get me. But
yeah, they'll give him a beer right away.
I'd rather do it. Like, I'm just like, I know I'll talk more, or I'll be more outgoing if I get a couple drinks in and shit.
Dude, that's funny. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, sometimes I even think back like, yo, I'm crazy. Like, you gotta chill, bro. Like, I just can't help it.
That is so crazy.
So being as that, like, you're super busy, like you're a super busy person, like you follow a schedule and everything, like
man, I try, and kind of goes back to like me, the ADD shit. I'm like kind of disorganized, where I feel like I'm getting better, but like before I felt like I can remember everything. And so it would be like a Friday, and they're like, "Hey, I'm on the way to the shoot." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, oh shit! Like, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, and like I've gotten a lot better. I've gotten better. Like as soon as I think about something, or I'll, like even this. Honestly, when we talked about it, I went on through my day and I completely forgot about it. And then you hit me up. You're like, "Oh hey bro, what's your number?" I was like, "Oh shit, let me write this down before I forget." So I put it in my calendar like immediately. But I'm getting better. I just use Google Calendars, and I try to. The being on the phone shit fucks with me. I don't like a lot of. I know like a lot of YouTubers and stuff. They like, oh, use this app and it helps you stay up to it. I'm kind of a little old school. I like writing shit down. I need to physically see it. So if I have like,
told him that yesterday.
No, and we talked about it earlier today too.
Yeah, it helps me like writing it down and looking at it. But I have to write like only like a small amount, because if I write too much,
then
if I write too much, I'm like I'm like I get overwhelmed, and then so it's like it's a mind, like the mind is crazy.
No, yeah, it is.
The mind is fucking crazy.
Because I literally told him yesterday we need to put like a small whiteboard where it has like everybody that we have booked, you know, because we had a podcast yesterday. Now we have yours today, and then we have another one next Friday, and it's just like you know, I know, not even Friday, Saturday, right?
This Saturday, yeah.
And I told him I need to see, you know, like the name and the episode number and when it's dropping or whatever. And but I write things down too.
Oh, okay.
I'm like I like to write things down.
I'm a big writer. I have like 7 notepads, like the yellow old school ones. And I'm like
the legal pad.
Yeah. And so that's why I have my like to-do list. Even like to-do list, I write them down, like everything.
But it's just so like, doesn't it give you like a feeling just to like write everything?
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah, I do both. I do the writing it out physically, and then I do my phone. The phone is mostly like my day-to-day, and because I use the app, and it's just like, it's called To Do.
Oh, yeah. I had that for a little bit. It's fucking hard, bro. Because the next thing I know, I'm on Instagram scrolling. Like, how the fuck did I get here?
Nah, I feel like that's what I'm on most of the time, honestly.
No, yeah.
I'm just like constantly on that thing.
On the to-do?
Yeah.
That's dope. Maybe I should give it another try. Because I tried it like maybe like a year or two ago.
But it's like I tell him like Roland's to do is always fucking red, like red, because he didn't do it the day before, you know. And I'm just
telling him, playing catch up. See, that's why I don't like those apps.
Yeah, and I tell him, I was
but
like,
I got better.
Realistic.
I got better because it's like
being realistic. That's another thing too.
Yeah,
that's
being realistic. Yeah, because I got better at like I'm like, all right, I'm supposed to do this today. If I don't get to it, it jumps over to the next day. And I'm just like, I stopped doing that. It's like, all right, I didn't get to it. It's not a priority. I'll just wait next week or whatever. Or whenever it's, you know, the days.
And then he tells me, I got a lot of work and da-da-da-da.
It is a lot of work, though. Like, I'm just like...
And I'm always like, fuck, I don't want to schedule anything. Because he got a lot of work going on or whatever.
But they come first. So it's like... Hey, Milo wants to do this, or I was thinking we should do this. Then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go.
But I try to tell him ahead of time. Like Sunday Fun Day is like not our drinking. Well, we do drink, but we do something related to Milo. Like, like dope. We'll take him to do something, and you know, and if we don't for whatever reason, like I make sure that like he'll stay with Milo for like 2 hours while I go run an errand or something. Because literally Milo's with me all the time, and if you ask him, he'll be like. I was like, we told him last time that if he wanted to do video games with you or go with me to my mom's, and he's like, he wanted to go with mommy, right? Yeah. And I'm just like, no, stay with papi. Because it was video games. Like video games is their thing.
Damn, I can't play video games for shit. Bro. I fucking like. I'm bored.
Nah, I have the mini Super Nintendo.
So it's like super old
he's been
school.
playing
that
like
shit's dope though. I'll play those, but again, it probably like 15 minutes. Like, all right, I'm over it.
No, he's like that too, though, right? Yeah, he gets bored real quick, and I never really thought about like getting him checked. But what was it?
I kind of want to get checked too.
What was it that we saw and we're like, oh, Milo has that? Was it ADHD?
I don't know.
Because we were like,
might have been.
Because we were like, oh, he does this. Yeah. He does this. The Google, like, you know.
Yeah, no. And the thing is, like, getting diagnosed or getting checked, it's like, it shouldn't be a negative thing because it just makes you understand.
Yeah. Like
why I am this way. It's like, oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah. So now I follow like all these ADD and ADHD pages, and like they're going through like. And they're like jokes because I'm like, oh my God, that's me. Like they're like when you almost finish something and it's like something that's this close to getting done, or like just little things like little memes. Yeah. And I'm like, damn that, and it helps me understand and like helps me be more aware. It honestly helps me be more aware of like things that I like procrastinate on or things that like I halfway. Okay, perfect example. I fucking bought a light strip. Around my TV, half of it is on. And the next thing I know, I'm watering my plant. And I'm like, oh shit, I gotta edit. And then it's still there. I'm like, bro, I gotta take that down. Like, I'm not gonna fucking finish it.
It's like me hanging the frames, right?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I have frames and I'm like, and
he said,
I was like, you know what's the best thing to do is just hang them up there. And then we're gonna be like, all right, we gotta put a picture on it. So right now we have frames around the house that have like
let me tell you, those
the default picture on the bitch.
Been on there for like probably 3 years. I'm not even kidding.
yeah.
Like,
dude,
and it's just like, I'm not even kidding you.
This
I want to say it was like
fuck.
On Monday I measured the frame. I'm like, all right, I need to put a fucking picture in this frame. Like, I just can't see this black and white anymore. Yeah, like, you know. But
damn, that sucks.
I think that we just have this break and then we done, right?
Yeah. So
we'll be back, guys.
I can just stop.
Yeah, just do that.
But we kind of want to like keep it like that.
Yeah, no,
it's literally
not
what we want. Yeah,
it's not straight like, all right, give me this, like gems. It's just like combo shit, you know.
No,
like,
because I feel like genuine gems do come out of like a genuine conversation. You know,
facts.
And I feel like he used to always make fun of me because I'd be like, when people would come, I'd be like, oh, it's just a casual conversation, you know. And
yeah, she's like,
she's all waiting for the gym.
Casual conversation. Yeah, she's like, that right there. I think that's me though, right? Because I'm the one that has to do all the editing and the posts and everything. But
I've been thinking like every time we've had people over, I'm thinking like, all right, this is what we're gonna quote. This is what we're gonna quote. Like, I really think we have more buyers than sellers. It's for sure has to be that guy's quote.
And you said something in the first 30 minutes. I just know I'm like, all right, first 30 minutes.
Yeah,
and then
he did.
He did say something, right?
Because I'm thinking too, like.
I what I said. Now, don't ask me what I said. Shit.
He's gonna be like, oh, that's what I said.
Yeah. So now I'm more aware. And then we kind of changed up the way we do things. Like we used to play games at the end and shit. Like she used to do spelling bees or Family Feud and shit. Like just to like end it off like on a
fun note. But it's just take too much time.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Do you ever like kind of like what you asked me when we were off? Do you ever like brag? Not brag. Damn, how do I word this? Do you ever like sleep on yourself? Like, do you feel like, oh, I've accomplished a lot, but I don't like talk about it because I feel like It's not enough, or like I have a bad habit of doing that. That's why I'm only asking you as a creator too.
No, like I feel like the podcast has given me the opportunity to let that be known because it didn't start until Channel Purple, which she was like what episode? She was up there somewhere. I don't even know. She was episode one of the early episodes, and
episode 6,
and she was kind of like, oh, you've worked with the product, you've worked with Dice Soho. She starts naming these people that I've worked with, and I'm like, and I post about it, but I don't brag about it. I don't say I don't tell people like, oh yeah, I've worked it. I do that with my parents, and just so they can be like, oh, he's actually doing something, But
I do the same thing.
But not to other people. Or if I bring it up, it's super casual. Like I don't try to come off like super.
I know, I hate name dropping. That's why I was in the beginning. I was like, I'm sorry for name dropping, but like.
But I think it's good to name drop, like, but in a genuine way, just so people know you're actually fucking killing it.
No, and that kind of goes back to like the sleeping on your. Dude, I sleep on myself so much, and like I was with someone yesterday, and they had asked me like, "Hey man, weren't you like featured in GQ or something?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I was," and I had completely forgot because I never posted it. Yeah, because I wasn't embarrassed, but I was like, I don't want people to think like I think I'm the shit. Yeah, because I'm not. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so like. Yeah, I had a fucking full article, not about me in GQ, but like when I shot a photo shoot for PJ Tucker. There I go again. When I shot a photo shoot for PJ Tucker and during COVID, and even he was like, "Yo, like this is gonna be in GQ." I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, right." And the next thing you know, I'm like getting like emails from GQ, like wanting my credentials and shit. I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And then they post it, and they post the article, and there's like all my photos in there. I'm like, "Yo, that's crazy." Yeah. And I completely forgot about it because whatever. And that was the first thing he brought up. And I was like, oh, fuck. Yeah. And I was like, damn, I got to stop sleeping on myself. Like, I need to go back, take a screenshot, print that out along with the photo I took of him and hang it up just so I can look at it like, damn. Because I never, like, tell me like when I was working at the oil company, like I was going to have a photo that I took on GQ. Never. Fuck no. Not even a chance, bro. So shit like that, like that's what I was kind of asking because I'm I do that a lot. Like I downplay everything I do, and it's always like one of my clients I stopped working with because every time she would introduce me, she would name drop, and I hated it. Stop talking about me like that. Oh, this person, he worked for this. Oh, okay. So every time I'll meet someone, they'd be looking at me like, oh, and I'm like, dude, stop doing that. I don't like that shit. I don't even talk about myself like that. But she would always be like, dude, you should be proud of what you've done. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but stop. Like, it's making me cringe. Like, I don't want people to look at me differently.
But I think it's good that you have at least maybe that one person that does give you the credit that you don't give yourself.
Yeah,
right?
You don't give yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I'm like that with you, but I'll be like, with my family, it's just sometimes, Hispanics, right? We're Hispanics, and they'll be like, they don't understand.
Yeah.
Like the creative world.
Oh no, yeah, my parents don't either.
So it's just like, so when he tells his parents, I'm just like I'll hype it up because it's just like they'll be like, oh, okay, so we just had Chingo Bling, right? They know that.
Yeah, that's pretty.
They know who that is, right?
Yeah. So with them, even my dad's coworkers, I was like, I got Chingo Bling, but I know Chingo I was gonna hype it up with them because they know about him. They know, like,
exactly.
It's funny.
So and then they'll be like, oh, where's Roland or whatever, and I'm like, oh, he's working. But they'll be like, oh, he's always working. And I'm like, yeah,
it's
he's
different.
Paying our
like,
fucking bills.
Yeah, like that's another thing. Like, there's no clocking out. Like, oh, man, that's one thing I do miss about working a corporate job, that when you can clock out,
you're done.
Yeah. You ain't got to worry about shit. Now I'm like, I'll go out for dinner, and the whole time I'm thinking, like, damn, I got this project to do, like this project, like, shit. Just got to email this person back. And then, like, I'm like, fuck, man, I miss that feeling of just being able to separate yourself completely. Yeah. And leaving work and like just be careless about everything else. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, I feel like I like that though. Like I like staying busy or something. I don't know, because I seen your cousin, Junior. He had tweeted. He's like, damn, I don't remember the last time I had enough time to just sit down and do nothing. Something like that.
So shout out to Junior.
Yeah, and I'm just like, damn, like. Because we've had a conversation where it's like, how do you think it'd be if we just stopped doing this? Like, if I just stopped doing design, if I just stopped doing everything and I just work and then just come home, watch TV, go to sleep, go back to work.
He asked me, he's like, what do you think about that?
No, not like that I would do it though.
No,
but it's
I know,
like,
but
how crazy would it be that you just feel like empty? I feel like I have to do something.
But people do that, which is okay, because that's fulfilling to them.
100%.
But when he told me, I was just like, I would find you like unattractive. Like I just like you know.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I think about that a lot too. Like, man, maybe I'll just go back to my old job. Just do that. Because I'm like, that's the easy route, right?
Yeah.
It's easy. Get told what to do all day. Like, bet. You ain't got to worry about shit. But now it's like, because I catch myself, obviously I'm like, I know what to do, but how do I say this? I fucking lost my train of thought. I don't know where I was going. My bad. Next question. I fucking forgot I literally forgot where I was going with that.
Yeah, but in a way, I feel like I think about it now. Like, all right, let's say I do stop and then I go back to a job. Because I was working as an electrician and I was getting paid real good and everything. I had good benefits.
Great.
Like, and then one day I'm just like, fuck it,
insurance.
And
it
then
was great.
And then I'm like, all right, let's say I do that, right? And then I start over. And then at some point, I'm gonna be like, I could do this on the side. Mm-hmm. Like I could do design on the side, like little shit. And then it starts going like back to how it was again, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just like, nah, I might as well just keep doing what I'm doing, you know?
No, yeah. And you know, I try to help him because when he did decide to quit his electrician job, in the back of my mind, I was like, fuck, we're gonna be broke. No more like good health insurance, but I could tell he was ready, you know. So I was just like, well, I mean,
but I still work a full-time job though. But now,
right now,
now I work with my dad.
Oh,
so
okay.
but
it's a little bit lenient. Yeah.
So
that's good. That's what's up.
So yeah, like even
Friday.
Yesterday I was like, I called him in the morning. I'm like, yo, like, you think you need me today? Because I kind of want to take off. I have a lot of stuff to do. And he's like, yeah, take off. It's cool.
Damn.
So now it's just
it's a perfect scenario.
Yeah. It just works out perfectly because when we talked about when he left the electrician job, you didn't work with your dad, right?
No.
For like a few months, and then
I took off for a while, and it wasn't working out. I was like, holy shit, like it's harder than I thought. You know, like I thought I was good, you know.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh shit, like nah.
But I think it's just hard, you know, because it's just like it's graphics, and then I had just had my son, so it was just like, you know, and
the risk was crazy, dude. I was like, all right, we just
that was like the biggest thing. Like when I made the risk, I was like, well, I don't have any kids, so it's just myself. Like I'm cool with fucking myself, like completely. But if I have another life, I'm like, I can't do that. So if I had a kid, I probably would never quit.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, because it was like that. That's what made me like make that jump too, you know. I mean, I made the jump and then I kind of went back to shore and now I work with my dad, you know. But I was like, all right, it's me by myself, cool, I'm working, and then we get together and then we get married. So like the risk becomes more, you know, and then now we have a house and then now we have a kid and I'm like, all right, if I don't fucking make the jump now, I'm just never gonna do it.
Yeah,
you know?
facts.
Yeah.
And so from there, I just
because I literally remember the day he came home and he was just like, I'm fucking done, and I was literally like, well, just quit. But in the back of my mind, I was like, don't quit.
Bro, I was having a whole breakdown in my office, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I was like going like this. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm like, I'm gonna quit, you know. And then, but our son was there, and I'm just like, holy shit, I didn't know what to do, you know. And I was,
bro,
like,
honestly, that's like, I don't think anyone will ever understand those like feelings. I don't want to say not everyone, but like people who had like jobs like me and you that were already making money and we're just like fucking taking the risk, like fuck it. But that feeling is fucking scary. Like quitting and like it's like, oh, what did I just do? Like, oh my god, I don't want to say no one has that feeling because I'm sure a lot of people, but a lot of people that I talk to now, they're like, oh, I dropped out of college, or like, oh, I didn't go to college, I did this. I'm like, bitch, I walked away from like $90,000 a year where I was living comfortably to pursue this. Yeah. So not to compare, y'all, shout out to y'all. I mean, good. But I'm just saying, it's like that feeling of like survival is fucking.
Like it really kicks in.
It's a motherfucker. Like that shit is. I'm like, oh, I'm about to throw up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
oh my
and
God.
honestly, like it's so crazy, but because when I was pregnant, we didn't qualify for like Medicaid. Like nothing, you know, because he was making that like good enough money, right?
Yeah.
So then when he quit, like I applied for Medicaid, I applied for food stamps, like I applied for everything, and everything was denied. And I remember leaving the office, like the Medicaid office, fucking crying because I was so stressed out because I told him, I was like, oh my God, Milo doesn't have insurance. Medicaid's not approving him. Like, what the fuck are we gonna do? He needs to get his checkup, you know. But thankfully, we got it all like sorted out, and I mean, we ended up like working it out, and now he's with his dad. He was actually working full time with his dad, and then slowly like
taking days off,
you know, and became part time.
Yeah, and so it's like, all right, take every Friday I'm off now, every Thursday I'm off now. Like it became like that. Oh, and slowly I was gonna work my way to like, I just completely
off,
not work with him type shit. But
I feel like his dad still needs help, so he kind of like just goes to help him out like a lot, you know. So it just works out.
Yeah, in the end. So
yeah, because I'm like at this point now, I'm making about what I made when I was working there. Last year I cleared like 87,000, and it's still like I'm like, dude, I feel like I could have did a lot more because I was still like kind of in my head saying no to jobs and like just kind of bullshitting a lot. Just wanting to do the fun stuff, right? I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. Saying no to a lot of like I'm not really money driven.
Yeah.
I'm more like, which is probably bad, because I wish I was more money driven. Like time is money. Like nah, you gonna pay me for everything I do. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Because like those people are really successful, but I'm more like on the genuine. Like yeah, you know, fuck it. Let's you know, all right, it's all good. Like maybe next time you can get me. I'm so fucking nice and. But yeah, this year I'm trying to like really be like serious about like business and be serious about like just serious about everything when it comes to being an entrepreneur and not like take the creative side out of it and just be like I'm an entrepreneur and I'm like this is life, this is business, this is actual business. At the end of the day, I'm not just a cameraman anymore. I'm fucking 32 years old. Like,
no, yeah,
it's time to get like serious. Like, quit fucking around. Like, cause I know like I could make so much more money if I like take everything seriously. But I mean, more seriously.
Didn't give too many discounts.
I know. I didn't give too many discounts. Fuck. Yeah. But it's all learning. It's all learning, man. If it's every day, every year, every month, I'm just constantly learning something new. At night, I don't know if y'all smoke. I smoke every night, and like every night I'm have like a breakthrough. Like, just figure something new out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's honestly kind of pretty much calmed me down a lot and helped me expand my mind. Is like, I don't smoke during the day because I will get nothing done. Mm-hmm. But at night, when I'm like, oh, okay, I'll pick up on the rest of the work tomorrow. I'll smoke and I'll just sit there and watch like documentaries or just watch like different stuff, and my mind will just go crazy. Or I'm like talking to my chick and we're just talking about all this crazy stuff. I'm like, damn. So I think that's where I got like a lot of my imagination from, and like my creativity and just my willing to like just expand my mind and want to learn and like just be more genuine too.
No, yeah. I don't think we haven't.
No, we don't smoke like that. I feel like our ideas come more when we drink. So that's like our like or like my thing.
Yeah, I would just forget every time I drink.
No, I'm just like I'm on my shit whenever I drink, and I'm just like, all right, there's so much that I can do, you know. Like after a podcast, like when we do Friday podcast and then we're drinking and shit, I'm just like, all right, like my mind's just like fucking going, you know. And then you're talking, and then it's inspirational shit sometimes, and it's just like, all right, like I gotta get my shit, you know. And then I don't know, bro. Like it's just.
But yeah, because I think we've only smoked like a few times since Milo was born. But I don't think it's. And then at the Astro Road, like at Astro Road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did it there, but.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Hope you calm down. I was fucking psycho. Bro, I was crazy.
So if anybody wanted to start like this journey, what would you tell them? What would be like a good step for them to take?
I mean, it's kind of like, dude, you just got start creating shit. Create it for yourself, because if you create it for yourself, there's no pressure. That's kind of one thing that's my biggest thing now. It's like, I want to create things for myself, but I put a lot of pressure on myself. Oh, it needs to be fire. It has to be fire. Like, I can't put this out because this shit ain't fire. So I'm going to just... Bro, I've been holding off on this Denver vlog since like 2018 because it's not fire. I'm going to release it soon. I'm just like, fuck it. But like, dude, just like, it doesn't matter. Just get shit out there. Film, shoot, whatever you want to do. Create like almost daily. Like, you constantly have to be creating. Learn, watch. I don't even know how many hours of YouTube videos I watch. Find a niche. Reach out to people. Don't be scared to put yourself out there. I mean, I've dove in so many DMs. Hey, that's how I met Drama. Hey, I hear you're in Houston this weekend. Can I come shoot your show for free? You gotta work for free sometimes.
Yeah, you
but
gotta,
just
work
starting and kind of getting up, gotta put your ego aside. Ooh, put
That's a
your
good
ego
one.
aside. That ego and pride is a motherfucker. And if you can separate your pride and ego, then like you'll be very successful, and you'll be willing to listen to others and learn and take criticism. That's one big thing I had a hard time dealing with the first 2 years. Is people telling me, hey, I don't like that. And I was like, well, you don't know shit. 'Cause I like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so stupid. But
it's really good that you say that, because like ego and pride is so fucking big.
Dude.
Yeah.
That shit will
And sometimes it's just like
kill someone.
because we literally just had like an incident in the family, right? And I was telling Roland, and I'm just like, I don't fucking get why they have so much pride or why their ego is so high. Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
It'd be different if it's like you're a fucking billionaire and your ego is like up there, you know? I get it, you know? But it's just like, if you're just starting out, like, you know, be like
Humble. Be, you know, genuine.
about it, you know? But I mean, it's a like I
Do
think
it for yourself. It's no pressure. Just no. It's no pressure, because you're not making. I mean, no one's paying for it. First of all, and it's just like the worst thing. The worst thing now. They won't even. The thing is now, no one will tell you it sucks. They just won't like it. You know what I'm saying? Or like they just won't say anything at all. So it's like fuck it. Like, and then you start making stories up in your head like, oh, why doesn't nobody like this photo? But if you're getting started, like if you would see the stuff I was putting out when I started, Jesus, I'll show y'all after. It's fucking horrible. But yeah, just get started, man. That's all I can say. Get started. Be open to criticism. Try to learn as much as you can, and
some jobs are for free.
Yeah, and yeah, be prepared to work for free. And that's the only way you can get your portfolio up.
Yeah.
It's the only way to get your portfolio up. You have to do some shit for free.
Where can they find you?
You can follow me at Big Camera Guy HOU on Instagram, and that's all I got. That's all I got. Shoot me a message. Say what's up.
This is episode 26, episode 26. So stay tuned for this. Thank you for watching. Everything will be in the description below. So
yes, sir.
Subscribe, like, and follow.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.